A man in possession of stolen classified documents makes a call. The call is to a high-ranked Russian official and former KGB agent. The official has received secrets from this man before and is eager to hear more. The man makes a second call to the official, a third, a fourth, another call, and another, and another. 7 calls that we are aware of. Calls to Russian dictator Vladimir Putin. Most people would call the man making these calls a spy. We call him Donald Trump.
Do you have a relationship with Vladimir Putin, a conversational relationship?
I do have a relationship.
Every night, Putin's missiles come, targeting civilians, hospitals, homes, rooms like this, children like her. Putin targets civilians, making the front line every innocent Ukrainian. Every night, more death, more suffering. But every night gives way to morning. And with every dawn, Ukraine stands. Bloodied but unbowed. Tired but fearless. Showing the world undaunted courage. And that the hard lessons of the past were learned. That the promise the world made to stand together against horror and evil were not forgotten. Ukrainians stand on the front line of this fight, asking only for the tools to win it. Donald Trump would have Ukraine stand alone. Stand not on the side of freedom, but on the side of dictators and despots. That's why this election, the stakes have never been higher. This November, Americans must stand with Ukraine. Because while every night the missiles come, the suffering continues, and the innocent bear the cost. The message to Putin and his allies will be clear. The dawn is coming.
Cheap hustles, dirty little scams, crappy condos and resorts, fake universities, inedible steaks.
Trump steaks are by far the best tasting, most flavorful beef you've ever had.
Gas station vodka. Trump selling trash is nothing new. Now, it's even more sleazy. Crappy sneakers from China.
It's Donald Trump's latest money-making scheme.
That's the real deal.
Trump-branded Bibles.
Donald Trump announced a deal to endorse a $60 God Bless the USA Bible.
Bitcoin Ponzi schemes and NFTs.
His own crypto exchange platform.
He'll turn the White House into a pawn shop, selling garbage to rubes from the Oval Office.
Let's start with those MAGA hats. They come from China.
Trump and his family made billions off his presidency. He's back for more. He's a charlatan, a snake oil salesman, a fraud, and unfit for office. Imagine a major Wall Street firm, one of the biggest private equity companies in the world, trillions in assets, vast power, a world-class CEO who talks about ethics, honesty, integrity, trust. Imagine that company advertised a senior executive position and the person who wanted the job didn't just have 1 felony, but 34. Imagine the man who wanted that job had a history of sexual assault. Would Blackstone hire him? No. So why is Blackstone's founder, Stephen Schwartzman, supporting Donald Trump for president? That's right. Blackstone's employees proudly live by a strict code of ethics, while Schwartzman's money goes to Donald Trump. Over $3 million in the pockets of a felon. Blackstone would never hire a felon with a history of financial fraud, falsifying business records, and sexual assault. But Schwartzman would fund his presidential campaign. That's Stephen Schwartzman's legacy.
Of moms and dads saw marriage as a basic contract, right? Like any other business deal. Once it becomes no longer good for one of the parties or both of the parties, you just dissolve it and go on to a new business relationship. And this is one of the great tricks that I think the sexual revolution pulled on the American populace, which is this idea that, like, well, okay, these marriages were fundamentally, they were maybe even violent, but certainly they were unhappy. And so getting rid of them and making it easier for people to shift spouses like they change their underwear, that's going to make people happier in the long term. And what we have is a lot of very, very real family dysfunction that's making our kids unhappy.
Donald Trump is a broken man, terrified of Kamala Harris. Shaky, scared, weak. He's a chicken. Limp, old, tired, and impotent. He's lost his edge, his mojo, all that power he once had, and he knows the end is coming. The final days of his campaign are nothing but a sleazy, desperate grab for cash and nothing more. He's hiding from Kamala. He won't debate her. He knows what happened last time.
They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
If Trump can't even face his political opponents, there's no way he can stand up against Vladimir Putin, Iran, and ISIS. There was never a chance he'd stand up for you.
What is wrong with J.D. Vance? Everywhere he goes, he stirs up hate against immigrants. Who's he married to? A daughter of immigrants. He married her when he was still an anti-Trumper, comparing Trump to Hitler.
I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him.
In Springfield, kids are under armed guard. Their class day photos canceled. This time, it's Haitians. Next time, it might be Indians. What kind of man stirs up hate that could turn on his own children? The kind of man J.D. Vance is. He made a fortune attacking his hometown and his own family. Now he's hating on immigrants, his own wife's family. This isn't about politics. It's about basic decency. His neighbors and his own family can't trust J.D. Vance. Why should America?
Donald Trump is owned by billionaires. He plays Americans for fools while promising them everything. It started in 2016 with Peter Thiel, the Silicon Valley mastermind, and continues today with Peter's pet, J.D. Vance.
I love you guys.
Steve Schwartzman, the CEO of Blackstone. Since Schwartzman only took home nearly $1 billion last year, he really needs his tax cut. Bitcoin boys like Mark Andreessen, who want Trump to pump up what economists call the biggest Ponzi scheme in history. Kooks like Richard Uihlein, who, like GOP supporter Betsy DeVos, want to eliminate the Department of Education. Putin simps who side with Russia, like bad poker player and part-time podcaster David Sachs. These billionaires and players think they've bought the presidency. It's up to every American to make sure they don't get what they paid for.
Donald, it's just not working. You know it. The country is laughing at you. Eating pets? Really, Donald? That's all you got? It happens, Donald. Even the best shows lose their audience and get canceled, and you are never the best show. 3 million more voted for Clinton.
God bless you!
7 more for Joe Biden. Now you're tanking in the polls. Let's face it, Donald, your ratings suck. Look around. All these people like Chris and Susie, you're paying them more money than they ever made. You think they really care about you? What do you think will happen when you lose? You're headed to court. They're buying beach houses. And when it happens, Ron DeSantis is going to laugh his ass off. Nobody likes you, Donald. You were useful until you weren't. Eating pets? Sorry, Donald. You're canceled.
In 2020, they met in a historic debate.
Please welcome California Senator Kamala Harris and Vice President Mike Pence.
For 90 minutes, they disagreed on many issues.
The American people have witnessed what is the greatest failure of any presidential administration in the history of our country. And here are the facts. 210,000 dead people in our country in just the last several months.
Senator Harris, I'm sorry.
It's fine, I'm Kamala.
They debated issues from COVID to foreign policy, reproductive rights to the economy. But today, for the first time in history, the two participants of a vice presidential debate agree on one basic fact.
I cannot, in good conscience, endorse Donald Trump in this campaign.
Mike Pence joins another Republican vice president, Dick Cheney, in saying he cannot support Donald Trump. It's more than policy or ideology. Donald Trump is a bad man who tried to end American democracy. His own vice president knows it. It's time to put country first. America or Trump.
Hope, Gus, and Gwen, you are my entire world, and I love you.
Some say of Donald Trump and the MAGA movement that the cruelty is the point. They're right. When Governor Tim Walz took to the stage at the DNC, he showed us not only a proud vision for America, but a deep love for his family. Building an America that's better, more compassionate, is personal for Tim Walz, whose son Gus has special needs. Gus exploded with love for his father after he took the stage.
The camera caught him so incredibly proud of you, so emotional, saying, "That's my dad."
I'm grateful I got to experience it, and I'm so proud of him.
It was a wonderful moment for any decent person watching, but MAGA is anything but decent. Insults, mockery. These are the voices of Trump's enablers, the people who make up Donald Trump's movement. What kind of people taunt a disabled child? Trump's people. It's time to ask, is this who you are? Is this how you're raising your children? Is this what you want from a president?
It's been 9 long years. The stress, the tension, the lies and division, the attacks on our lives, our rights, our sanity, family and friends lost to the conspiracies and the cruelty, all from one man and the movement he controls. But it's almost over. We can see the finish line. A new America, a new dawn, a new start. Unity, joy, strength. It's coming, but we're not done yet. There's hard work ahead, but we take nothing for granted. Trump is failing. America is winning. We're close. It's coming. Now, it's up to you. Volunteer. Give. Vote. Because there's nothing more patriotic than standing up for the America we can be.
Driver's license, registration.
Here you go, sir. How's your day going?
That's your daughter?
Sure is.
Abigail, right?
How do you know her?
Were you about 8 weeks pregnant? So you've been spotting recently. You've had any cramps or nausea?
That's personal.
You been taking your prenatal vitamins?
Excuse me?
Are you ticketing me for something?
Where are you heading, Abigail?
To go see my older sister, Natalie.
Well, that's strange. 'Cause it says here that Natalie's at a concert in Dallas. And your navigation is set to a women's health clinic in one of those abortion states.
We have the right to travel.
Not anymore. Step out of the car.
Please, officer.
Both of you out now. You, sir, are under arrest for crossing state lines to obtain an abortion for a minor under your care. And you, young lady, well, you're under arrest for evading motherhood.
This is for every woman who has been beaten, battered, abused by her husband. This is for every woman who knows the pain of a closed fist on her cheekbone, an open hand across her face, the dread of hearing the door open at the end of the day, knowing what lies ahead. For every woman who has dreamed of a different life, a fresh start, for herself, for her children, No woman should stay in an environment.
Violent, but certainly they were unhappy, and so people to shift spouses like they changed their underwear.
Anyone who believes that is just plain sick. Please, no.
Remember him? We thought he was different. We had fun at his rallies. It was exciting. What happened? Now he can't make up his mind about big issues, moral issues like abortion.
Well, I think the 6 week is too short. I am going to be voting that we need more than 6 weeks.
The next day, he flip-flopped.
So I'll be voting no.
For years, he said he really won the 2020 election.
Frankly, we did win this election.
Then, he finally admitted he lied.
Lost by a whisker.
On Bitcoin.
Do you have a dabble in Bitcoin?
I don't. I think the others are potentially a disaster waiting to happen.
Then Bitcoin tycoons contributed to his campaign.
The United States will be the crypto capital of the planet, and we'll get it done.
You know what happened to our guy? That guy we liked? After running for office for a decade, he became just another politician. It's sad.
Tonight's vice presidential debate is about the truth. Vance will lie over and over to protect Donald Trump. He'll lie about his plans to use the federal government to take away the rights of women, to track them, monitor them, and even prosecute them. He'll lie about wanting women to stay trapped in violent marriages. He'll lie that he once called Donald Trump Hitler and cultural heroin. Lie that he was once an outspoken never-Trumper.
I'm a never-Trump guy. I never liked him.
Lie about his support for Project 2025.
Project 2025 is not affiliated with the Trump campaign.
And its dangerous plans for America. And of course, lie about Tim Walz and Kamala Harris. About who they are, what they stand for, and what their plans for America are. Tonight, J.D. Vance will show he's just one more dishonest con man in Trump's campaign of lies. And that's the truth.
Oh, there's a fly. Oh, I wonder where the fly came from. 2 years ago, I wouldn't have had a fly up here. Calculators. They were calculators. She worked at McDonald's, and she never worked at McDonald's. She worked at McDonald's. I didn't work there. She didn't work there. But I'm going to go to a McDonald's.
You know they eat babies. That is not bullshit. It's true.
I could have been sunbathing on the beach. You have never seen a body so beautiful.
When Trump made the snap decision to go play golf, who could have leaked the information? That person, of course, is Lindsey Graham.
I also have a very good relationship, as you know, with President Putin.
It's not just the dogs and the cats. They're full-on vampires.
Strength and godly boldness versus just, I would say, the Jezebel spirit.
Wow, the Democratic Party spent tens of millions of dollars to make me look like a crazy person.
Are you going to pull your endorsement of Mark Robinson?
I don't know the situation. It takes two to tango,
And everybody still thinks I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. They're full-on vampires. They love the taste of human flesh and they drink human blood.
Hundreds of thousands of patients brought into Alabama, and they will become your masters.
They'll walk into your kitchen, they'll cut your throat.
Teens today have 50% of the sperm count, 50% of the testosterone as teens, American teens 2 generations ago.
Gay couples are not fit to raise children. That's just obviously true. Does anyone seriously disagree with that? I guess some people do seriously disagree with that.
I see a President Trump who is getting closer and closer to God.
Kamala is mentally impaired. Well, every one of my killer, we had the great, he would have never been able to get in. By the way, if she wins, it's not going to be so pleasant for me, but I don't care.
The story of being black in America is filled with never-ending chapters of challenge. Driving while black, banking while black, parenting while black. But what about voting while black? They always tell you this election will be different, and it rarely is. So many promises made. Promises of economic justice and social equity that never quite make it to your pocket or your porch. But this election, there really is only one choice. This time, she is the choice. Now I know you're thinking I've never voted for a woman and I'm not going to start now. Ask yourself, why not? And maybe you'll find it's not about her. It's about you. What you want for your family, for your future. Because if you vote for what you want, the choice becomes clear. It's Kamala. Listen to your gut. Your heart is telling you that Kamala Harris is the right person for the job. It's time for courage, for boldness. It's time to come together for change. It's time to be a man. Vote for a woman.
You're among the smartest people in history. The tech you've built and the companies you've funded change the world. As venture capitalists, angel investors, and C-suite leaders, you've picked winners your whole life. And you know a bad investment when you see one. You know a company with bad leadership and a bad user base is going nowhere. So why would you invest in Donald Trump? His product, hate.
Very fine people on both sides.
Chaos and division.
We did win this election.
His promises, more of the same.
I'm a very stable genius.
His chances of getting to an exit, 0.
Maybe in certain areas, closing that internet up in some way. Somebody will say, oh, freedom of speech, freedom of speech. These are foolish people.
Would you employ a convicted felon, a man with a history of abusing women, a man with a track record of discriminating against blacks and other minorities? You'd never hire Donald Trump for a single one of your companies. You'd never invest in a loser. So why would you back him for president?
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
America is watching.
You've heard Donald Trump say he'll arrest and deport millions.
On day one, I will terminate every open border policy of the Biden administration, and we will begin the largest domestic deportation operation in American history.
But have you heard who else he wants to arrest? It might be you, if you've disagreed with the Supreme Court.
These people should be put in jail the way they talk about our judges and our justices.
The former president has ramped up his threats to jail political opponents if he wins the election.
As they go down and indict them, they'd be out of the election.
Trump threatens anyone who holds him accountable with arrest and imprisonment. When a nut writes, Elizabeth Cheney is guilty of treason and calls for televised military tribunals, Trump sends it out to millions of his followers. How many times did he rant?
They should lock her up. Lock him up. Yeah, lock him up.
Donald Trump is a convicted felon awaiting trial for other felonies. He's an angry and desperate man who cares nothing about the Constitution or rule of law. It's not about Republican or Democrat. It's about protecting our country, our heritage, our future, America, or Trump.
You're in trouble, Donald. In the courts, in the streets, in your own party. But there's one big problem you never saw coming. Turn around. He's right behind you. It's JD. His billionaire friends mock you. Why do you think they forced JD Vance on you? Age is getting to you, Donald, and you're just too slow to see the plan. If you win, JD will come for you. You won't see him until it's too late. He won't wait until you make a mistake. JD's plot to invoke the 25th Amendment is already underway. Your cabinet betrayed you before. Why would it be different now? And with Democrats in the majority, no one will stop him. Republicans want someone younger, smarter, someone stable. A leader who will execute Project 2025 without your problems. Rupert's Wall Street Journal said Vance's version of Trump is better than the real thing. JD switched from never Trump hater to your running mate in record time. You thought that was real? You think he won't stab you in the back to seize 10 years of power in the White House? So yes, Donald, they really are out to get you, and the one who'll betray your presidency is right by your side.
It's time to take back the flag. The flag that Trump and all his MAGA cronies co-opted in their hateful attempt to bring our democracy to its knees. The flag unfurled as this country took its first breath. The flag that united the country when the scars of civil war had divided it. The flag that flew high over the cliffs of Normandy and was raised on the war-torn island of Iwo Jima. The flag of America. Not the flag of anti-immigrant hate speech and white supremacist chants. Not the flag of vulgar racial slurs and vile, cruel name-calling. No, this flag flies for freedom, democracy, and hope. For veterans and heroes, whether they lived through battle or died for their country, somberly folded and handed over to the families whose loved ones bore the ultimate sacrifice. It's raised proudly over schools and stadiums, over offices and homes. This is the flag of America. And this is the flag of Trump. This is the flag of the modern-day Republican Party and MAGA extremists. The flag of Donald Trump's America. Not our flag. Our flag flies for all of America, no matter their race or religion. For one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's time to take her back.
Hurricane Helene, the monster storm that tore through Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee. The damage, catastrophic. So many lives lost, and recovery will take years. Not the first one this big, and it won't be the last. But it could be the last time the federal government can help the victims of this kind of disaster. Donald Trump's Project 2025 has a plan for the states that hurricanes and disasters hit hardest. Cancel the National Weather Service so we won't even know what's coming. Close the National Hurricane Center, which tracks these monsters and gives us a little time to prepare. Tear FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, apart. Get rid of federal flood insurance. If your home is destroyed, you're not covered. The monster storms won't stop coming. But with Donald Trump's Project 2025, we'll never be ready for one again.